In today's Cooking Trojan Style, Trojan Dining Executive Chef Joe Vance shares his recipe for an authentic New Orleans classic, seafood gumbo. Think about it, Joe Vance, New Orleans. How did we make it all the way to our second season without bringing you this how-to meal sooner? Now, starting off with fresh as tomorrow ingredients, here's Joe Vance.
My name is Chef Joe Vance. I'm the executive chef of Troy University at the dining hall here on campus. Today, we would like to get started cooking one of my most favorite and wonderful dishes in the world, and that is my New Orleans seafood gumbo. I prepared and gathered up some ingredients. I went to the store. I traveled through the bayous. I've come across the lakes, and just to bring you my fabulous and delicious gumbo. I want to talk a little bit about some of the ingredients and where did the gumbo come from. Gumbo is a term from Africa that migrated to New Orleans and began some of our New Orleans Creole Cajun cuisine. Okra, which is one of Africa's traditional vegetables. We have garlic. We have andouille sausage. We have crabs, crawfish, shrimp. Any good New Orleans dish is going to have diced tomatoes. It's going to have any kind of tomatoes, whether they're stewed, diced, cooked down, what have you. Then we go into our trinity of vegetable seasoning, and that's your onions, peppers, and celery. And then on top of that, we're going to go with a good potent stock. And that's a stock made from chicken, sometimes beef, sometimes seafood. And you can just take your crustaceans and cook down your crab into your gumbo, and you have a very flavorful and fabulous dish. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna just go ahead and cut the onions up, get my green onions out the way, because this is going to be a part of my garnish. And if you notice, I just slightly chop. Nice chop, nothing too long. Everything is uniform, and we just put on the side what we don't use, and we want to put it in a bowl for later use. And then I like to go into cutting my onions up and my peppers. I'm a executive chef, born and raised out of New Orleans. I apprenticed down at the Gata Community College, where we have one of the most famous culinary schools, where some of the well-known names in Louisiana, Susan Spicer, Emerald Lagasse, George Rose, are all from in those areas of town. Once I began cooking, I started cooking over at Copeland's of New Orleans, and the gentleman approached me. He said he noticed as a young guy, before I even got into culinary school, he noticed how into what I was doing and how I was preparing everything, and took a passion to it. He noticed, and he said, "Well, Joe, maybe one day you want to go to culinary school." And really, when he said it, I really didn't give it that much thought, because it's time consuming to go back to school and things like that. But I tell you, it's one of the best ideas, best advice I've ever taken in my whole life. So here I am. And I can prepare these dishes for you guys, and that's what we're here today to do. Now, of course, being from New Orleans, I like to try to keep everything traditional. And the way I prepare dishes, the way we cook our dishes, the way we smother dishes. In New Orleans, we like to put dishes over rice. And basically, we just want to get a rough chop, because it's going into our gumbo, and it's going to cook down. So the uniform side of what we're doing here is not that important. But the fact that we get all of the flavors from all of the seasoning that we have. Now, I started talking about how gumbo originated. Gumbo was one of the dishes that came from over Africa, served with rice. Rice being one of New Orleans' biggest cultivate, along with sugar and their import. And one of the imports, a lot of the major imports came in where we know New Orleans. And now today we have a big tourist attraction there in New Orleans. We have a lot of activity, Mardi Gras. Everybody is familiar with Mardi Gras. We have good food, good cooking going on down there. Now we have here, I have my andouille sausage. Basically, andouille sausage is your sausage cured with your spices. And it is important that you have a good sausage going into your gumbo. So we have a little heat going on here, and we're gonna take just a little traditional oil, and we're gonna slide the peppers, and we're gonna slide some onions and all of the meat. Now I've already turned the temperature up. Now I like to go ahead and get my seasoning going, and put out salt, pepper, a little garlic there. You don't want to overpower your dishes with garlic. You want to make sure everything is flavorful, everything is balanced, and everything is on point. Y'all notice we have crab. We're going to put our seafood in last, but we're going to get all our vegetables going first. So we have our peppers, onions. This is our Trinity meal pot here, and that has peppers, onions, and garlic. So now, what they tell me is that you cannot cook a good New Orleans Creole dish without okra. So we're gonna go ahead and get the okra sliced up, and I want to omit the ends because those don't cook down that well. And the next biggest important part of cooking a good gumbo is a good roux. Now we like to cook our roux real dark, just so we can have a good, rich, meaningful flavor. And so we're gonna go ahead and get that okra in there. Now the next thing I like to do is, I have some spices that I developed here. We have an Old Bay seasoning. That's a good seasoning for curing any of your meats. You can put it on fish. You can saute fish. You can marinate chicken. You could put it on ribs. I love it on my ribs. I'm from New Orleans, so I like to keep it real with my New Orleans original spices. I have a little thyme and garlic powder. So we're gonna go ahead and get all that in there. Now, I also have some sassafras here. Sassafras, as we all know, it's gumbo filet. It's it's in your grocery store, and you might say, "Wow, somebody took time out to file their seasoning," but it's not filed. It's filet, and it has the hyphen on the end of it, and it's pronounced filet. And we're gonna put that in last because we want it to bind up all of the flavors of everything that we put in the gumbo. Now, we have all our seasoning going. I have my stock already ready. And then the last phase of any good gumbo is going to be our roux, our dark roux. And for me to take the time during a cooking show would take too long for me to develop this nice, smooth, rich texture here. And it has all it is a roux. This is all a roux. And basically it's flour and any type of fat. You can melt some butter down. You could use oil. Of course, if you use butter, it's going to have a better flavor. So all I did was just cook it down, just let it cook, just let it cook, just let it cook, without it scorching or burning. And so that's what we have here. And we have our roux. And it also has cooled off, because you never add a hot mixture to another hot mixture. You want to cool it off, put it in the freezer, put it in the cooler, depending on what kind of time you have, prepare your dishes. But this is the first thing that I got started when I came in this morning. Now, we're going to go over back to our seasoning. As it cooked down and cooked down. One thing that me and my family always go back and forth, being a professional chef and everything, they always say, well, you know how to really make it look good, but you cook really fast. we always go back and forth. And one thing my mom used to always say was like, well, if you're trying to learn anything from him, you better either be recording it or don't blink your eyes, because you will miss something he's going to put in there. So we have our roux going, we have our seasoning ready, we have our stock there. And we're going to get our stock in there, and then we're going to put our roux in, and then we're going to start adding some seafood to it. So let's go over to our seasoning, and we're going to just take some of this rich, flavorful stock. Oh, wow. Oh, guys, that's just incredible right there. And we have all that cooking down. And then I have my roux ready to go. And now I want to start preparing my seafood. We have some blue crabs, some Gulf blue crabs, just ready to go. They're already clean. All you want to do is just cut them in half. If you like a lot, go ahead and put a lot in there. If you want to do a gourmet side of gumbo, you can just take the crab meat, pick the crab meat out of all the crabs, or buy a pasteurized crab meat, and just put the crab meat in there. It's really up. It's your choice.
I tell you what, they haven't developed smell-o-vision yet, but I tell you what, it's smelling really good over here. So we have our crabs there. Now we want to put a little shrimp. You can use any type of shrimp, peeled to vein. Typically, you want to use a 70, 90 count. That's usually a medium-sized shrimp. Well, if you like a nice sized shrimp in there, go ahead and put some nice big shrimp. But you want it to just go into your gumbo mixture and taste real good. So we want to put a few shrimps in there. And then we want to go with some scallops. I bought some scallops with us that are already clean, and of course shelled. And then we're going to go ahead and put our scallops in there. You know, it's one good thing being from New Orleans. If you love seafood, that is a good place to be. So we have that going in there. Now you want to make sure that you have enough broth. And I'm gonna just hit it with a little more stock. Just so we know we have enough to go around. And I bought some teaspoons with me, just so I know that we can taste as we go. We want everything to be flavorful. We want everything to be rocking, but we don't want to over. Oh, wow. I need to take a break. I need to take a break, but I'm not. We're going to go ahead and finish, because this is going really well. Got a nice kick on it. Has all my spices going in there. Has my natural rich flavor right where I want it to be. And this is just the thickening agent. If you see anybody trying to put cornstarch in gumbo, run them clean out of town. You don't want to have any cornstarch going into your wonderful dish here. And we're gonna put our root to the side. And let's turn our temperature down. And then we just add a little more stock to it. Because it's going so well. And now the main thing you want to remember is that we put this over rice. And for any New Orleans type cuisine, this is a good dish you want to get started. Any party, any activity, any event, any party, anything that's going on. This is a good starter dish because we have our seafood going in there. We have all that cooking down. And since all of my flavors are just where I want to be, I don't want to add any more salt or pepper or anything. Now here I do have salt, pepper, and white pepper mixed up together. And we have Cajun spice, which is already here. And then our last item we want to add is the crawfish tails. These are already boiled crawfish. Now, you can buy them in your local grocer, already crawfish tail meat. And if you notice, there's a little broth in there. All that is natural just juice that abstracts from your seafood. You want to make sure you get some of that in there. We want to get some of that in there. And because it's already boiled, you notice that was my last item that I added. And then we just stir it, give it a nice little stir. Now, just about any regular long grain rice goes well with this. If you type person prefer a like a basmati or a jasmine rice, those go well with it as well. But this dish just requires just regular long grain rice. And we want to put that right on there. And then we're about ready to serve, y'all. Get that out of here. And we're gonna put that to the side. Now, I did say my last spice that I add is the gumbo filet. I almost said fowl. But we want to add that to it. And let's go ahead and dish up. You want to mix everything in. And let's get a couple of those crabs going. And some restaurants in New Orleans, you will get a garnish of crab in some establishments. And then we take our green onions that we chopped earlier. And that's your dish. Wonderful New Orleans cooking.
Grab a pen and paper or a tablet or something and take down this list of everything you'll need to make your own seafood gumbo according to Joe's recipe. When Cooking Trojan Style continues, we'll show you how Trojan Dining and Troy students are teaming up to help the community.
This is Dr. Daniel Smith. He's an expert in domestic and international economics. But his proudest achievement is connecting with his students and helping them accomplish more than they ever thought possible. That's the warrior spirit, and it's alive and well at Troy University. Feel it at troy.edu/spirit.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Information on hot water heating.
No. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out the words.
World music, playing track now.
No.
Let me try. Our daughter gets confused about which details in a story are important.
Which paper towels are most absorbent?
What?
Here are 5 product reviews.
Why are you not getting me?
See, I told you.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Of course, Trojan Dining's main mission is to provide an appetizing and nutritious answer to the dining needs of Troy University students, along with Troy's faculty, staff, and visitors. But that mission provides other opportunities at the same time. Sarah Singletary of Troy Trojan Vision News tells us how Troy students and Trojan Dining have teamed up to help feed the community beyond the borders of Troy's campus.
Troy University Campus Kitchen got its start in early November 2014 and is continuing its work into 2015. Once a week, student and faculty volunteers pack the leftover food from Trojan Dining into boxes that are delivered to the local Head Start and Christian Love Center. One volunteer tells us what sparked her interest to get involved.
It showed me that they put the food to use that we didn't use, and they put it to a good cause, so I wanted to see the whole process done.
Feeding the community is Campus Kitchen's main focus right now. However, Coordinator of Service Learning and Civic Engagement Jonathan Seelan tells us that the program plans on expanding into nutritional education.
Kind of once we get up off the ground and this becomes more of a regular thing and we have the capacity, we really want to do some nutrition education alongside delivering the meals to teach the children at the respective locations just the importance of nutrition, the importance of exercise, how to eat right, how to live right, things of that nature.
Campus Kitchen needs volunteers to both pack and deliver the meals, creating several opportunities to get involved. Volunteer Desiree Kirkwood tells us why she believes students should be a part of this organization.
It's an opportunity to make good friends, to get to know people and know that you're doing good to help out other people here in Troy, Alabama. And there's just great people here volunteering.
We'll be back with more Cooking Trojan Style right after this.
If you store your guns properly,
so not just anyone can get to them.
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories or scary news reports.
I won't have to hold someone's hand and shout you're gonna make it.
And I won't have to tell my kids this isn't a drill.
Please.
Please.
Please. Please.
Please.
Do it for us.
For us. Do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
The warrior spirit, it's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence, conquer, claim territory, and climb ladders. Know that you have the power to stand alone, but the comfort of knowing that you'll never have to. Discover your inner warrior. Find it at troy.edu/spirit.
That's all for this episode. tune in again next time for a duo of delicious do-it-yourself dining options from Executive Chef Joe Vance of Trojan Dining. That's on the next Cooking Trojan Style.